It's crazy. DJ Oogamadoogie should be looking to either A, switch positions, or B, switch careers. I know guys at my local Krispy Kreme that can throw a football better than DJ Oogamadoogie. Gosh, man, it's pathetic. And I already know somebody's going to say, well, Matt, why don't you get out there and try? Give me an opportunity. Do they got a walk-on tryout? I'll show up. You might want to get you a snack, popcorn, drink, whatever for this video, because I got a feeling it's going to be a long one. Like, I mean, a really, really, really long video. It could be possibly, I'd say on the short end, 25 minutes, long end, 40 minutes. I got a lot to say. You know why I'm here. I know why you're here. Florida State, the cinnamon rolls. They lost. Again. Bad. Bad. Like, bad. Okay? It was bad. Really, really bad. And this is your disclaimer and warning. It's late, and if you're watching this and it's, there's a little too much energy for you in this video, I understand it. If you're watching this at night, by the way, shout out to the people that stay up to watch these reaction videos. I get them up as quick as I can. I'm recording them as soon as the game's over, but of course you gotta put them on the computer, edit them, render them, upload them. There's a lot of working parts behind the scenes. I'm a one-man show and crew, so stick with me. But like I was saying, I will get extremely passionate in this video, and I'm going to yell and scream. I can just feel it coming. Let me get this whiteboard out the way, because I won't need it for a few minutes, because I'm about to go on a major rant and tangent. Oh yeah, by the way, first things first, I just want to say this. Shout out to our community on Twitter. That is the best part about college football season to me. The games are fun. But we have an even better time on Twitter. Just all the jokes. And I hate when people say, oh, go follow my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the social media stuff. I don't really care about social media like that. But I'm telling you, if you want to have a good time outside of our channel, which we have a good time here, go follow the Twitter, because it is just so funny. We have so many jokes over there. I love the Twitter community. For the people that follow the Twitter and you're always replying to my tweets and sending me stuff, I greatly appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. Also, too, I'd like to say I tweet out some funny things here and there, but you can be the judge of that, so feel free to follow the Twitter. It's always linked, or not linked, but I put it in the description. It's the same as the YouTube, MattBeGreat'sYT. You can find it. Anyways, let's get into the nitty and gritty of this game. Good gosh almighty. There's so many areas we gotta touch on. It's pick your poison. Where do you want me to start? First things first, let me do this, because I sometimes forget to do it. Clap it up. I was about to say to Georgia Tech to Boston College. Heck of a game. I will talk more about... Oh, by the way, our fellow friend, Bob. Bill O'Brien was the head coach. I low-key forgot he was the head coach of Boston College until I saw him in the first quarter, and I was like, wait a minute. I know that ain't who I think it is. And it was. Shout out to Bill O'Brien, man. Nice little dubski for him. Also, the quarterback, and I'm going to say what's on my mind. I'll touch more on this in just a second. Castellanos, dude, he plays just like, or he reminded me a lot of Kyler Murray. The way he moves in the pocket, the way he runs, kind of a smaller guy. He played a phenomenal game. And give a ton of credit, kudos, respect to the entire Boston College team. Heck of a performance. I don't want you to, if you are a Boston College fan, by the way, do we have Boston College football fans on the channel? I have no idea, but if we do, you're watching this video, don't take this as, oh, well, I'm not giving y'all credit. No, that's not what this is about. You know what it's about. So don't act shocked. Don't try to play that victim card. This is all about Florida State. It's the headline. They lost. They look like hot garbage. Speaking of hot garbage, calm down, Matt. I'm going to say some crazy things if I don't stay calm, cool, and collected. But I got to keep it real, man. DJ Oogabadoogie. I hope you're watching this video. I hope someone sends this to you. I am sure, and I've said this for years, dating back to the Clemson days. I remember when he was a top quarterback recruit in the nation, one of them, 5-star recruit. I'm almost positive he is a great and humble young man. I haven't heard a bad thing about him off the field. Solid dude. I'm sure he'd be a guy I'd want to watch a football game with in the man cave. Go golfing with. Something along those lines. But my brother in Christ, football ain't for you. You suck. And you're trash at the quarterback position. I have never in my life seen someone progressively get worse. I've seen people have a good season as a freshman and then stay stagnant and maybe get a tad worse. But no, he has progressively gotten worse. Like, if he started up here at Clemson, it's just been, boop. It's like a stock that's on the steady. You know, some great moments, but mostly just zigzagging down. He just gets worse. I don't know if he's overthinking it. I don't know. You really can't say he's overthinking it because I remember having that conversation when he was at Clemson. He's just not good. We got to come to terms with reality. I say all the time on the channel, an ace is an ace, a spade is a spade. Guy's not cut out to play, well, I'm not going to say football, but let's just say quarterback. And I have never understood this with DJ. And there's other people like this. How could you devote yourself to a certain skill or craft for 20-something years and not be good at it? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I've said this before. Maybe I'm out of touch with reality. I know some people just are born with talents and gifts. But I would like to assume most people watching this video, if you pursued something, I don't care if it's riding a bike, running a race, just anything, your hobby, whatever your hobby is, imagine doing it for 10 to 15 years. I would like to assume you'd be pretty decent at it, right? Well, DJ's not. Blows my mind. Some of you think I'm trying to be funny when I say this. I'm being dead serious. I believe I'm a better quarterback than DJ right now. Right now. I'm a better quarterback than him. There's no way I could do worse. Not a shot. I'm not saying I'd win the Heisman Trophy, fellas. I am not saying that. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying I'd go out there and light up all these defenses like Georgia Tech and Boston College for 400 yards. But I know for a fact I am better than DJU. I know it. And there's many of you watching this video. I know you're better than DJU. It doesn't take much. He's awful. He is, and I've been nice about him. Okay, I've been saying, oh yeah, he's just a mediocre quarterback. No, he ain't mediocre anymore. He is below average, at best. Today, awful, trash, hot garbage, whatever word you want to throw in there. And I'm being extremely critical. And DJ, I hate, do you think I enjoy getting up here and saying these things about you? Absolutely not, my friend. But I gotta call things for how I see it. I'd be doing a disservice to my audience if I didn't. You were bad. Like, it was so bad. I started thinking, I tweeted about this. Does Florida State not have a backup quarterback? I mean, what's going on? What is Mike Norvell doing? At a certain point in time, you had to feel bad for DJ because Norvell's putting him in a position to fail. Take him out of the game. Did y'all not have like some wide receiver y'all could have put back there and ran Wildcat? That's how bad it was. It's like, man, he couldn't do nothing. Every time he dropped back, you just know Bill O'Brien was grinning from ear to ear. Like, oh yeah, we got him where we want him. It's like, seriously. He's that bad. When he dropped back to pass, I just assumed it was going to be an overthrown pass, hit his wide receiver in the foot, interception, just a mix of all these bad things. And then I will give him credit. He had about 5 or 6 passes that were good. And the few good ones he threw that were good, like I just said, receivers and the tight end dropped them. It was like the whole... Okay, we're clowning on DJ. That's going to be the topic of discussion because he's a quarterback, rightfully so. But the rest of the Florida State team, I'm not letting it slide. And that's why this video might be 30 minutes long, because I'm coming after you too. The wide receivers, tight ends, y'all are awful as well. Y'all didn't help them out. And maybe it's a thing like they're expecting bad passes, so when they get a good one from them, they're like, oh, well, I'm not used to this, and they overthink it. I don't know. Running backs, they got good running backs. They got Alabama's former running back, Rodeo Williams. They got all these different sizes of running backs, but they can't run the football. Offensive line, same as Georgia Tech game. And defense, good gosh almighty, awful. And what was most embarrassing was the trenches. Boston College bullied you. They bullied your offensive line, and then they bullied your defensive line. Castellanos, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the quarterback for freaking Boston College had all day back there. All day. I'm talking about, like, he'd catch the ball, he's moving his feet, stepping up in the pocket, coming back, to the back of the pocket, and he's spinning out of the pocket, and he's getting back in the pocket. And I'm like, what in the world? How long has he been back there? Then he's lighting up a cigarette, smoking it, still scanning. He looked like Kyler Murray back there. Throws the cigarette away and then, all right, hits a receiver or he's scampered for like a 5 to 10 yard gain. Dude was doing whatever he wanted. Why was he doing that though? Because his offensive line gave him so much protection. You gotta give a ton of credit to BC. Ton of credit. DJ on the other hand didn't have as much time. So it kind of goes back to Boston College's defensive line bullied Florida State's offensive line. And that was the reason Florida State lost to Georgia Tech. The trenches. Going back to DJ, I can't rationalize how you have the best facilities, you can practice all you want, you have great wide receivers. I'm sure people will go out there and catch balls for you if you want them to, and you still can't complete a 15, 20-yard pass consistently. You can do it every now and then, but not consistently. It's crazy. DJ Ugabadoogie should be looking to either A, switch positions, or B, switch careers. I know guys at my local Krispy Kreme that can throw a football better than DJ Ugabadoogie. Gosh, man, it's pathetic. And I already know somebody's going to say, well, Matt, why don't you get out there and try? Give me an opportunity. Do they got a walk-on tryout? I'll show up. I'm telling you, I think I could do better than that. Because I know those people are going to say, well, Matt, it's easier said than done. It's easy for you to sit up in the man cave and talk about how good you could be or how much better than DJ you are. And yeah, I agree, but I'm telling you, if I didn't have that career-ending injury, I could have put on my best 2012 Johnny Manziel-esque type of performance. That's all I'm going to say, and we'll leave it at that. Continuing along here. Okay, that's enough. We've ragged on DJ enough. You know he sucked. You don't need me to sit up here and say it. What should we talk about next? Pick your poison. Offensive line awful, trenches awful, and we'll get to more of that in just a second. There's what did I want to... Oh, Mike Norvell. You thought he was going to escape my wrath, buddy? Like Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. You're a chump. You had a fluky year last year. And also, where the Florida State fans at? Now that I think about it, I ain't seen y'all on the channel in quite a while. I remember last year y'all was everywhere talking about how y'all should have been in a playoff and Florida State's back and y'all the best team in the nation, next best thing since sliced bread. Where y'all at? I ain't seen y'all on Twitter either. Y'all awfully quiet. I'm not saying that'd be funny, I'm being dead serious. Like, y'all are really quiet, but I guess there's really nothing to say. It's kind of just like you want to tuck your head between your knees and hide away because you can't talk crap when losing to Boston College and Georgia Tech. But it's not talking crap. I just thought it was crazy last year how these Florida State fans came out of the woodworks, came out of the shed, talking about how they're back and they're to the level of Alabama and Georgia. Like, get out of here. I'm just glad they've quit crying and whining about how they should have made the playoff. Now Florida State fans actually understand, nah, you should have made the playoff. I tried telling it to you last year, but you didn't believe it. Mike Norvell is a chump. That's what he is, a chump. You know what last year was? 2022 Tennessee. It was a fluke. That's all it was. It was a fluky season. Now, don't take nothing away from them. It was a great fluky season, but it was a one-hit wonder, Cinderella March Madness type of run. It ain't going to happen again. And most certainly ain't going to happen this year. You already got 2 losses. You could win out from here on out, which ain't going to happen, but you could, hypothetically speaking, and you're not making a playoff. Unless, well, you could win your conference, but that's not going to happen. My point is, this year's over, buddy. It's over. Heck, I don't even know. Could they make a bowl game? Can they even beat Memphis next week? That is who they play, isn't it? I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Mike Norvell, you got out coached by freaking Bob. Do you know Bob didn't even have time to recruit or convince players to stay when he was going to take the job at Ohio State? The OC job, and then last second, dude, what is biting me? It's like a freaking mosquito in here. Sorry about that, guys. Like I was saying, he was going to be the OC at Ohio State, and last second, he's like, oh, I guess I'll coach Boston College. Just got the job, and he whooped up on you. Embarrassing. And I'm going to talk about this when we get to the whiteboard. Those drives that Boston College went on in the first half, because the second half, the game was over after DJ threw that almost pick 6 with the cornerback safety, whoever it was, he took it to like the 5-yard line. Those drives in the first half, those weren't like explosive plays. Bill O'Brien just straight up cooked Mike Norvell. I'm talking about he fried him. Methodical, smart plays, and just great drives. Multiple drives. It was unreal. I was like, dude, all the play calls, Florida State, it's not like Florida State was in position to make the tackle or make the play. No, they were out of position, which means that was a coaching thing, okay? Mike Norvell, he got diced up. Bill O'Brien, and you got to give Bob credit as much hate as he gets. He's a pretty good offensive mastermind, offensive head coach. I do call him a mastermind because I think he's a great offensive coordinator. Head coach, you really don't know. I guess I have to wait and see. But gosh, man, he was just drawing up every single right play. It's like Mike Norvell thought he was one step ahead of Bill O'Brien, but Bill O'Brien was actually 3 steps ahead of him. The run plays were great. They took control of the game, the play action, quarterback scramble, like the design quarterback runs were perfect. It was just a perfectly, flawlessly executed offensive performance. On the flip side, for Mike Norvell, he wasn't helping out DJ at all. So on one hand, you had Bill O'Brien putting his quarterback in the best position possible to succeed and thrive, and that's what happened. On the flip side with Norvell, no, he didn't really put DJ in a great position to succeed in the Georgia Tech game or this game either. Outside of getting out coached, you got out physicaled, you got bullied, you got outsmarted. Boston College was better than you. I mean, every aspect of the game, mentally, physically, whatever, Boston College was better. And I hate even labeling this as an upset because that's what all the media outlets are going to say. Oh, Boston College upset Florida State. I don't think so. How is this an upset? The better team won. Boston College was by far the better team. And the score shouldn't even have been 28-13. It should have been like 35-13. But you freaking had Bill O'Brien showing you mercy because he felt bad for you and he started taking knees with like 3 minutes or 2 minutes to go in the ball game. They could have easily had a touchdown at the end. This was essentially like a 30-point ball game. You got beat by Boston College by a dang near 30 burger. Pathetic in it. Oh yeah, at home by the way. Got to throw that in there. It wasn't like you was in some hostile road environment, which still wouldn't make it too much better, but a little bit. You was at home. At your home field. What's your excuse now? None. You're just going to have to own up to it and say, you know what? We're not good if you're a Florida State fan and if you're a Florida State football player. The one thing I can't get over, and it's what I'd be extremely disappointed in if I was a cinnamon roll fan, is if you lose to a team that has more talent than you, that's not upsetting. As long as your players play hard, you're like, well, that other team, let's just say for the sake of this video, Georgia, they got more talent than us. We play hard, but our best effort, it wasn't enough. But my problem with Florida State, and this was clear and evident from the start of the game, is number one, they didn't just not play hard. It looked like they didn't give a crap about the game at all. They didn't care. In both games, the Georgia Tech game and the Boston College game, Florida State's opponents looked like they were giving 110% effort on every single play, whereas Florida State looked like they was giving about 50% effort. And on top of not trying hard, you're getting bullied, you're getting pushed around, and when you have somebody stop for a 3-yard gain, you can't tackle them. There was multiple runs where Florida State had them stopped at the line of scrimmage or only 1 yard in front of the line of scrimmage, and the Boston College running back would just keep pushing, keep moving his legs, and he'd get 3 or 4 yards, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is. When the running backs or quarterbacks got into the secondary, missed tackle after missed tackle after missed tackle. Defense is awful. They couldn't stop a nosebleed tonight if they wanted to. Offense, like we talked about, sucks. Defense sucks. Norvell sucks. Ooga sucks. I'm trying to think of a bright spot for this team. There's not one. You just suck. Overall, to sum things up, in conclusion, you suck. I think that's more than fair to say, and to tell you the truth, that's me sugarcoating it, because there's many other chosen words that other people are going to say that I'm not going to say on this channel. Or just leave it at, you suck. Man, oh man, do I have a stat line for y'all. This is going to blow your socks off. Okay. Yeah, that should work. Rushing yards. Boston College had a whopping, well, I'll get to it in just a second. They had a whopping 260. Why is my 6 bigger than a 2? Anyways, 263 rushing yards. Get you some of that. Yards per carry, if I can pull it up, they had 5.1 yards per carry. Wow. Remarkable. You want to know how many yards, rushing yards, Florida State had? Are y'all ready for this? No, that's right. You see it correctly. Let me move it over so you get a better view. But the fact you gave up 263, that might be even worse. If you were to look up the recipe of how to lose a college football game, it looks something like this. Might be a picture of this in the dictionary, matter of fact. Only getting 21 rushing yards is pathetic. Even in a half, it's miserable. But then allowing 263? Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing, Florida State? I'm starting to have some sympathy for you and feel bad. This is ugly, and this is the only stat line I'm going to throw up. It's the only one you need. Do you really want to see Ooga stats? Should I throw them up? I feel like y'all want to see them. Should we? Yeah, we'll throw them up. Take a good look at these rushing yards. Craziness. Let's pull up DJ Ooga stats, because I just feel like most of y'all want to see me rag on him a little bit more, which I don't mind doing, no problem at all. We can do that. But also, you probably just are curious what his stats were and Castellano's stats were. Castellanos in this ball game, should see that pretty good. 10 for 16, that's good. 106, not too crazy impressive, but it wasn't passing a lot. 2 touchdowns, and I probably should have wrote this down as well. Had like 80-something, we'll write it down. Had 14 carries for 73 We'll go rush dot yards here. And 1 touchdown on the ground, which was nice. He improvised very well all night. Circle that. I'm going to draw an arrow to it because that was a big part of the game. Oogie 21 for 42. 272. Okay, that's deceiving if you didn't watch this game. Those are what I like to label as empty and dry stats. That happened when the game was over. He's getting all these chunk plays. Really relevant. It more so felt like it like $130. I know it's kind of crazy to say, but if you know, you know. 1 touchdown, 190. Did he make some decent throws in this game? Yes, but it didn't make up for the atrocious throws and just terrible plays and essentially the pick 6 he threw. You got to play better. Your starting quarterback in the Power 5 can't put up numbers like this. You can't complete 50% of your passes when you throw 42 of them and have a costly interception like that, and you got outplayed by Castellanos. I also believe you got to give a lot of credit to Bill O'Brien for drawing up a great scheme and game plan. He outcoached Mike Norvell, and I feel like if, call me crazy, but if if Bill O'Brien had DJ Ugabaduga do better with him. A large reason for your success, or lack of it, is on the coaching staff. Whether you like that or not. So, vice versa. If Castellanos was at Florida State, I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't have played as good. We don't know. But I most certainly feel like if Ugabadugi wasn't playing for Norvell, he'd be doing way better because at Oregon State last year. He wasn't great, but he wasn't like this. And I still can't believe he left because why would you come to Florida State where you know the standard's insane? There's going to be a ton of pressure. That's really a different conversation for a different day. Let's back up the whiteboard in this video. All in all, Florida State is a terrible football team, but more importantly, and I've said this leading into the Georgia game, they have a terrible culture. They have a victim mentality and a loser's mentality. And this is the last thing I'm going to say to end out the video, and I want you to hear me out. Notice last year when Florida State didn't make the playoff, in which they felt like they should have, and I get being upset you went undefeated, you didn't make it. I get it, okay? Everybody would have been hurt. But here's the difference with a championship contending program every single year and a team like Florida State. There was another team that felt like they got snubbed, and I personally had them in my top 4, even after they lost in their SEC championship game, that felt like they should make it to the playoff, and that was Georgia. And we saw a great, and I mean a great example, of 2 programs. Program number 1, which is Georgia, they didn't play the victim mentality. They didn't say, oh, why me? How come I'm not going to the playoff? I guess since I didn't make it, I'm going to quit, curl up in a ball and cry. No, they said, you know what? I'm going to show the committee why they should have put us in there, and we're going to beat the crap out of whoever we're playing the bowl game. And that's what happened. On the flip side, you had Florida State throwing this hissy fit, acting like a middle schooler, saying, oh, no, if it's not my way, then I don't care. I ain't doing it. It's my way or the highway. And that's what they did. They didn't even show up. They just cry. Even when the game's over, cry. Oh, we didn't make the playoff. We didn't care. The fan base did it, which is whatever. But the most important part is the players and coaching staff did it. They have a culture problem. I said it last year. So it shouldn't shock you when stuff like this happens. They have a terrible culture. And until you fix that, you're going to be irrelevant on a national level like Georgia, Ohio State, Bama, so on, so on. The days of Florida State being a top college football program are over. They've been over. Okay? Maybe in like 10 or 15 years you might could get back to the level, but for the near future, nah. You ain't even going to be sniffing a championship. You ain't even going to be coming close. There's many more things I could say and I will say later throughout this week, but that's it for now. Let me know your thoughts down below about the Roman.